Major riding and flying updates coming in the War Within pre-patch. We know sky riding, as they call it, which was formerly dynamic riding, which was formerly dragon riding, is coming to all mounts. We've seen a lot of the animations. A lot of them actually are starting to look very polished and nice. So we know we're getting a ton of new flying mount animations, all that stuff. We're going to be dynamically, or sky riding everywhere, I should say. What else are we getting? Because evidently Mr. GM has discovered some more flying and riding updates. Let's see what this is.
Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about riding and flying, or sky riding, dynamic flight. I don't know what it's called anymore.
Yeah, we're all confused.
I believe it's sky riding. But yes, in this video we're going to talk about all of the riding and flying updates coming in the War Within and the War Within pre-patch, of course, is when a lot of this is going to launch. There are some pretty major changes to riding, as well as obviously the addition of dynamic flight.
Damn, look at those animations, how the propellers turn.
But
Very
before
cool.
we jump into that, guys, I just want to shout out my twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me streaming the War Within Alpha, Beta, any sort of World of Warcraft, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single
Mr. GM does pop in here from time to time, I'm just saying. But yeah, and I go to his stream. It's a good time.
Day. Right, so yes, the War Within Alpha is fully underway, with beta coming extremely soon as this week as of the recording of this video. With the War Within, we are getting a ton of changes, of course, dynamic flight becoming a default thing. This has now been renamed to Skyriding in the game, so dynamic flight is gone and Skyriding is here to stay. Unless they decide to change it back again. I don't know.
I don't think
also,
they'll
on
change
top of
it
dragon
anymore.
riding become kind of the default way to get around, there is also some pretty major changes to like regular riding on ground mounts and regular static flying.
I have to say, honestly, Blizzard's done a really good job with a lot of these animations. Like, I thought the flying horse being turned... Like, if you imagine in the original, when we first saw the preview video for the War Within, and we saw Invincible do a spin, his legs went really stiff during the spin. It was like... Now, the animations look much better. The way they skip across, they've really polished a lot of it out. I mean, watch the dynamic spin that we see here.
There is also some pretty major changes to like regular riding on ground mounts and regular static flying as well.
Tucks its legs, the whole thing looks very good.
And that's what we're going to talk about firstly in this video. So just as a note, all of this will come in the War Within pre-patch, which of course will be the 11.0 patch, which will bring in all the kind of system changes. And this is when you can expect all of these changes to go live.
Overnight, all of our mounts
So
are
with
gonna
riding,
change.
as of the pre-patch from level 10, you will actually gain journeyman riding now, which is 100% speed. So yes, as of pre-patch, apprentice riding or 60% riding is gone. You will literally get 100% speed at level 10 from the pre-patch.
That's crazy.
Once you hit level 20, this is actually going to be the first time.
Damn, I mean, this used to be such a big part of the game. Like at level 40, having just that 40, what was it, 40? It was 60%, right? It was like 60% mount speed, and then you didn't get 100 until you got your epic mount at level 60. Wow, that's a huge change. People will be able to quest so much faster now.
You get flying skill. So at level 20, you're actually going to gain expert riding skill, which was previously level 30. And also, this was previously 150 speed, but this is actually going up in speed for static flying to 220% speed at level 20. So that's pretty cool. They're increasing the speed of kind of static flying for expert riding from level 20. But also,
I'll be honest though, doesn't this change things so much for people? I think they made flying available for leveling up a while ago, and when they did the level squish, but I feel like for a leveling experience in Azeroth, isn't it better like from the ground, especially when you're a new player, discovering new zones and everything rather than just skipping over shit by flying? Like endgame flying is fine because we're used to everything in the game. We've seen it all before. But for somebody who's exploring for the first time, I just feel like being done from the ground is the right way to do it.
Level 20, this is actually when you're going to learn skyriding for the first time. Now, as of pre-patch, skyriding or dragon riding is going to be capped at 705% outside of the Dragon Isles. In the Dragon Isles, it will remain at the previous 830%, but anywhere outside of the Dragon Isles, it will be at 705, which is essentially...
But here's the thing, it doesn't matter for this because the Dragon Isles were made for dynamic flight, basically, so the zones are massive. When you're traveling at 730% in a regular Azeroth zone, like you're flying over Elwynn Forest, it feels just as fast because the zones are so much smaller because we're traveling at a speed that was never intended for those zones. So I don't think anyone's going to mind the little drop in speed.
What the speed was with the riding abroad buff, but that buff has now been removed as of pre-patch. The other ability you're going to get at level 20 is also to switch flight style. So switching flight style is a new ability coming in pre-patch. Now this is a 5-second cast, and what this ability does is switch you between static flying and skyriding. So say you click it and it puts you into static flying mode, any of your skyriding mounts, any of your flying mounts will fly with static flying or Burning Crusade flying, kind of the old school flying style. And then if you click it again, that will switch it back to skyriding, and that will convert all of your mounts, or all of your current flying mounts, over to skyriding, which is something that's happening in pre-patch.
Oh, that's kind of weird. I thought it was going to be something that you click like while you're mounted. Okay, so you have to pick it, and then it converts all of your mounts, and then you mount. Interesting.
A little bit more in detail about skywriting and dynamic flight changes.
I don't either, but it is what it is.
So yes, level 20, you're going to get expert riding, which is now 220%. You're going to get switch flight style to switch back and forth between skywriting and static flying, and you're also going to gain skyriding. Now, one thing to note on skyriding that's happening on Alpha at the moment is that from level 10, if you enter the Dragon Isles, you actually get skyriding unlocked automatically at level 10. So I don't know if that's a bug. In the kind of official Blizzard video, they did say that it's level 15, so I don't know what's going on there. I think this might be something to do with like account-wide stuff. So I think if you've already unlocked it, perhaps it does unlock at level 10 when you enter the Dragon Isles, but on brand new accounts, it will likely be level 15 through the Dragon Isles questing, which is now going to be kind of the default leveling experience for new players, as the Dragon Isles will now be level 10 to level 70. So yeah, perhaps a little bit confusing there, but possibly a bug, possibly not a bug, but there is definitely a chance you could get skywriting from level 10. And finally, for riding changes, Master Riding will be unlocked at level 30. This is down from level 40. Now, previously, this was 310%, and I'm happy to report that Fast Flying, or the Epic Flying, or whatever it's called, is now going to be 420%. Yeah, so that is going up 110% in speed. So the regular static flying, or the master riding that you're going to get from level 30 is going to be 420% Blazer. So that's really good. That's really fast. It's nice to see that being increased in speed. I know a lot of people do prefer to fly static, and that is going to...
It's good to know that if you decide to go with your regular static flying, which is still enjoyable at times when you just want to kind of AFK and fly somewhere, besides taking a flight route. But this is good because it doesn't punish you too badly. Yes, you're flying at a much lesser speed, but it's not... It doesn't feel as slow as it does now. So you'll get a nice boost. That's
going to be a nice choice for you to have going into the War Within pre-patch, and that's going to be extra fast now as well. Speed. So Skyriding is going to be 705% at maximum speed, and Master Riding or Static Flying will now be 420% when you kind of switch over, even on a max level character, because Master Riding is going to be your final level of riding at level 30. So from level 30, you're not going to get anything else. You are simply just going to be able to switch between Skyriding and Master Riding. So that's pretty much it for regular riding. It's really nice to see them increasing the percentage of static flying. I know that's something that people really wanted for a long time, so it's really nice to see that coming in. Of course, Skyriding from level 20 is going to be pretty great as well. But yes, that's a wonderful segue going into a bit more information about Skyriding, or Dynamic Flight, or Dragon Riding as it's known right now. So as of pre-patch and as of alpha, there are 500 mounts in the game files which have been flagged for Dynamic Flight. Now, that is a lot. That is actually pretty much every single flying mount, including ones that you probably wouldn't expect, like horses and things like that, are all getting the Dynamic Flight treatment as of pre-patch, which is awesome. I've been playing a lot.
These horse animations are much improved. I have to say, like, whatever you think about them right now, they were janky before. These are much smoother.
It's so fun to just fly around on some of these mounts, which are certainly ones you wouldn't expect to be able to do that, but they definitely can. And they have all the animations to support it, which is super fun. So shout out to the animation team at Blizzard. I think it's really cool to see some of these mounts getting dynamic flight animations.
Did you see how it did the spin and the top stayed still? That was really cool. Hold on, I want to see that again.
Wouldn't expect to be able to do that.
That looks awesome. They did a really good job with that.
And every flying mount to come in the future as well will also, of course, support it. As mentioned, this is going to be 705% outside of the Dragon Isles, which is where you're going to be spending most of your time when the War Within launches. And that is, of course, because Riding Abroad has been removed and the percentage is just kind of baked in at 705. And as mentioned before, switch flight style is going to be the way that you switch between these two different types of flights. Just to add on top of that, this will also affect Druid flight form. So if you're a Druid, you will be able to use all of your Skywriting riding and dynamic flight abilities through druid flight form when you switch between static and sky riding. So you can still fly static on a druid flight form, you just need to activate that through the switch
druid
flight
W.
style. Speaking of abilities, the sky riding talents have been relocated. They're actually just on the top of the mount journal now. You can find switch flight style there as well. You can also expect the sky riding tree to be completely streamlined. Several talents have been removed, like redirection,
that's good.
Nara's gusts, dragon riders initiative, sky riders compassion. A bunch of different abilities have been removed and kind of made a bit more default just to make the experience a little bit better for newer players. If you are a new player, your sky riding points or your talent tree points will unlock while leveling, but if you're an existing player, all of these points will be unlocked on all of your characters when you log into the pre-patch.
Nice.
Also, just a note on that, your points will be pre-allocated on any new characters. So if you've chosen all your talents on one character, any future characters will have those already chosen. So any new characters, you don't have to mess around and choose all the talent tree points again, which is super nice. The only two choices you'll actually have are the two choice nodes to activate Ride Along and to change the kind of Whirling Surge and the Lightning ability across the board. You can kind of switch between those.
Oh,
if you like,
that's the ability that we get right now with the pre-purchase for the War Within mount, right? You get the Algarian Storm Rider, right? It does that Lightning Surge. Okay. So you get to pick between them. That's cool.
Across the board, you can kind of switch between those if you like on your
be
characters. As for glyphs or skywriting glyphs, these do actually have a new model, which is really nice, but also these are going to be just cosmetic for achievements. So if you want to go around Khaz'Algar and collect all of those, you can do that, but they're not going to affect your skywriting. They're simply just there for achievements, which is really nice.
Getting glyphs
One final note on Khaz'Algar and Pathfinder. So from the get-go in the War Within, on your first time around, you won't actually be able to use static flight. It exclusively be skywriting. At BlizzCon, they did say that it will unlock shortly after max level with no reputation grind or anything like that. On the alpha, there is a Khaz'Algar Pathfinder achievement, but as of alpha also, it does not have any requirements. But Ian did state at BlizzCon that it won't have any reputation. It will just be get max level, basically. So you'd imagine the requirements are going to be pretty simple, but from the first time around, it will just be skyriding in Khaz'Algar. But that's it. That's kind of all of your riding, flying updates coming in the War Within and the War Within pre-patch. Great changes. Honestly, skywriting feels super nice. Honestly, the decrease in speed is just not really noticeable. I know people are probably going to get really upset about it, but honestly,
it's not,
flying around and doing all
smaller.
that does not, you don't really feel it. It still feels really, really quick getting around. And of course, Master Riding getting an update with speed as well, which is super nice. So yeah, just some good changes all around. Being able to fly super early as well is going to be super nice for any new characters as well if you are wanting to level that. Of course, as mentioned, you can level through the Dragon Isles from level 10 now as well. So
these races were a nice little mini-game addition to the game. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I hope we get more of them.
There you go, guys.
Forward.
That is all of the changes you can expect to riding and flying in the War Within pre-patch and the War Within. Let me know down below what you think of all of these changes that are coming. There's certainly a lot of them, and certainly some of them will be contentious, I would imagine. But guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon, and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And as mentioned, I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. I've been streaming a ton of the War Within Alpha beta coming up super soon, so we're going to be deep diving into that as well. So if you want to check me out, guys, twitch.tv/MrGM every single day.
There it is.
And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.
Nice video. Yeah, I didn't realize all these changes were coming besides skywriting. I'll be honest though, the whole thing of how you switch between regular riding and dynamic fucking skywriting and regular riding, it's kind of janked. To click the thing, switch it over, and then do it, I guess it is what it is. But I mean, at least we're getting dynamic skywriting everywhere. That's fine. We'll take it. Nice video from Mr. GM.